This week on Channel Mum is all about fussy eating, and I have 3 children who are 10, 9 and 4, so I've been through my fair share of fussy eating phases. So I just wanted to share with you what my best tips are, or what my best advice would be if you currently are dealing with a fussy eater. But I also thought I would share with you what my kids eat in a typical day. It's a school day, so there's nothing fancy and I don't have an awful lot of time to try and cram extra nutrients and vegetables and fruits and things into them. So this is what I would typically feed them on a normal school day. On the weekends, I might try and be a little bit more adventurous and get them to try new things. But in the week, time is always so tight that it's just about trying to just get them to eat their dinner in the first place, or whatever meal it is. My 2 eldest children are off to school today. My littlest is actually at home with me today, doesn't have nursery. So you'll see what he would typically eat when he's at home for the day and what my kids eat when they're off to school. I thought I would share some tips with you along the way as I show you what they eat. But before I do that, the 2 biggest things for me, and I'm by no means an expert, please don't think I'm telling you that this will cure your fussy eater, but it's just how my mindset has kind of evolved over the course of having 3 children. And the first one, I've heard lots of people say, and I know it can kind of make you roll your eyes and think, oh God, it's easier said than done. But I can honestly say that for my 3 at least, fussy eating has definitely been a phase. Sometimes a longer phase than others, but it is, or at least in my case, it has been a phase. So if you think of it like that, it kind of helps you to relax a little bit and not get so stressed out about it, because it can be so stressful and so frustrating when you spend hours making a meal and they just refuse to eat it and, you know, chuck it at the dog or whatever it is that they do. Oh, I'm just gonna switch arms because this camera is actually surprisingly heavy. Where was I? Yes, it has been a phase. My incredibly fussy first son, who was wholeheartedly team beige and would only eat pasta pesto, chicken nuggets, occasionally chips, and that's about it. For what felt like forever when he was a toddler, he's now 10 and his favourite food is Mexican. So he will eat a burrito or a chimichanga with chicken and all the vegetables and all the spices and all the sour cream and guacamole on top. And that is his favourite thing in the world. And I know obviously 2 to 10 is quite a big age gap, but over the years he's got steadily more adventurous and he'll now try anything I put in front of him. Some stuff he doesn't like, some stuff he does, and he's discovering new foods, and it's just really nice to see him grow from that really fussy 2-year-old who would only eat pasta to a little boy who will now pretty much eat everything that you put in front of him. My youngest is currently 4. He's kind of been through the phases as well. He was amazing when we were weaning him and would eat anything and everything, as a lot of babies are. Then he suddenly got very fussy at around 18 months to, I would say, 2.5. And then that started to kind of change. And as he's seen his big brother and sister eating more and more different things, he is kind of encouraged to do that. I still have a mega struggle on my hands when it comes to veg with him, but I have ways and means of getting around that. That's a really long-winded way of me saying that. Just hang in there, it does get easier. And my second piece of advice that we followed in this house is to have a rule where they have to at least try something new. And if they don't like it, that's fine. They don't have to finish it or eat it all, but I'd like them to at least taste it and see what it tastes like, because so often kids make their decision based on what they see rather than what they taste. Obviously, they don't like the look of it, they don't want to try it. And that has worked fairly well, even though 9 times out of 10 they try it and go, oh no, I don't like it, and leave it. At least it's encouraging them to always give something a go. One last tip before I show you what they typically eat in a day is to do with portion size. I know this is another really common one, but it really did make a difference for me. My youngest gets really overwhelmed if you put too much on his plate, and he almost gets quite upset about it. It's like you're already fighting a battle with him as soon as you put the plate down. If he thinks there's too much food on there and he's not going to be able to fit it all in, or it's going to make him uncomfortably full, then he just isn't interested. So I always start off with a smaller portion and then I can give him a bit more if he's still hungry. I think it makes a really big difference to how he approaches meal times and how he feels when he sits down to eat his food. On a busy school morning like today, the kids will almost always have cereal. Dylan's favourite at the moment are these golden syrup flavoured malt wheats. He actually really likes plain shreddies, but we don't have any of those in at the moment. We have some of these left, so he'll probably have those. And Merrin and Aiden both love raisin wheats or any sort of wheat with dried fruit in. So they do apricot wheats, and I think there's raspberry ones and blueberry ones. They also have multivitamins every morning. I'm actually running really low on these ones, but they're little, I think they're strawberry flavour, gummy bear multivitamins. And then Dylan and Merrin both have omega-3 every day. Aiden will ask for them sometimes too if he's feeling left out, but they don't taste very nice, so I think he just has them because he doesn't want to not have them if the others are. Good morning, Iron Man.
Good morning.
Marshmallow Man is eating raisin wheats. Okay, I'm just packing up the kids' lunch boxes. For their sandwich, they usually have either a wrap, like a flour tortilla with hummus and ham. Today, they've got a very exciting sandwich, which is wholemeal bread with Edam cheese. Then they always have a carton of apple juice in their lunchbox. Dylan has a pepperami, which is one of his absolute favourites, and Merrin has the very last Dairy Dunker from the fridge, which you'll be pleased about. They both have a piece of fruit. Dylan prefers green Granny Smith apples, and Merrin likes pink lady apples because she just knows they're the best, let's be honest. Then they are both loving at the moment these super sour yo-yos. These are like cereal bars, but they're actually choco bakes, so they're squishier, and all three of the kids absolutely love these, so they've got those in the lunchbox as well. Somebody's ready for lunch. Are you hungry? This little one is having a day at home with mummy today. Aiden's not the biggest fan of sandwiches. He'll eat them if there's nothing else on offer, but he is much more but he much prefers sort of picky bits. Aiden is having one of his favourites, which is homemade tortilla chips, which sound fancier than they are, with hummus and some fruit. So I basically just take a regular flour tortilla that you would use for wraps and things like that, and I use my pizza cutter, cut it into triangles like tortilla chips, and then I pop those in the oven at about 160, 180 for a couple of minutes, and then flip them over and toast them on the other side. You've got to keep an eye on them because they will burn. These are a massive hit with my kids, and it's healthier than obviously regular tortilla chips because it's just a flour tortilla. You can add a bit of sprinkled sea salt on top if you like, and I would do that if I was making them for myself, but with the kids I tend to leave them off. So I'm just going to get on with the rest of Aiden's lunch while I'm waiting for them to be ready. So here's Aiden's lunch. You're really hungry, aren't you, Bubba?
Yeah.
So you eat that. What are you doing with your t-shirt? What are you doing?
I'm holding it. I love cheese.
Cheese first. I'm going to get you some apple juice.
Right.
I made a few too many, so I think I'm going to have them for my lunch as well.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well done. Eat them up quick then, we've got some scooting to do. Aiden really wanted 2 flavours, and we didn't appreciate quite how big it would be.
In the car. In the car.
Look at the size of this. Aiden, how on earth are you going to eat that?
Ooh.
I've just picked the guys up from school. That herd of elephants up there is Dylan dancing to the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 soundtrack, which just he never turns off. And I'm about to get started on their tea. One of their favourite foods, like lots of kids I'm sure, is pasta. So something I've tried to do over the years is come up with recipes that kind of hide other things that they might not be so keen on inside pasta dishes. This is no groundbreaking tip, I'm sure lots of mums do this, but it is something that I have found really works for me. So what they're having tonight I've actually already made, and I have some sauce left over, so I can't show you how I make it. But it's similar to a bolognese sauce, but instead of using beef I use sausages and squeeze them out of the skins and break them up. Fry that off in a pan with some red onions and garlic, and then I will grate carrot and courgette into that as well, and then use tinned tomatoes and just seasoning. And I always add a couple of spoons of parmesan into the sauce as well, which makes it really tasty. All the vegetables completely melt away into the sauce and they're pretty much undetectable. I grate them quite fine. Pasta never looks that appetizing, does it, when you show it on camera? But I'm showing you because you would never really detect that there is extra veg in there. And I guess that's my kind of fussy eaters tip. If you are either you've got older children and you're past the stage of pureeing everything to disguise things, or you just can't be bothered to puree another sauce, I tend to grate the veg and then sort of cook them into the sauce, and they really do just disappear. You can't really detect it, especially if I put a bit of grated cheddar on top, which they will probably ask for. First thing Dylan does when he gets home from school every single day is puts his pyjamas on. So that's why he's in his pyjamas at about 5 o'clock. You get straight out of your uniform, put your onesie straight on, don't you? And it's always this onesie, so I have to wash it when he's not looking.
I love it.
Otherwise it would never make it to the washing machine because it never leaves his body. Anyway, how's the food?
Good.
Are you going to feed yourself today instead of nagging mummy to help you eat your food? You're 4 now, you don't need mummy to help you, do you? 'Cause you're a big boy.
Don't you to help.
If it's ice cream, mummy doesn't have to help you, do I? Good job! You really need to sort out your hair.
Nice.
Just putting out a pre-bath bed routine snack for the kids, or their treat after tea, which is a chocolate chip brioche and milk. So I really hope you enjoyed seeing what my children typically eat in a day. I'd love to hear your suggestions and tips for dealing with fussy eaters. I have baby number 4 currently on the way, so I know that I'm likely to need as many tips as I can get. Don't forget to check out all the other videos on Channel Mum to do with fussy eating. I will link them all below. There are so many with amazing tips and recipe ideas and all kinds of things, so head over there if you're dealing with a fussy eater. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one.